One. Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Escape Velocity. It has been a minute, but we're here and we're ready to play. Let's see, you just watched our intro video, which tells you what we do here on Good Game Nights, also known as GGK. Mostly tabletop role-playing games, sometimes video games stuff if we are feeling it. To know when we're doing stuff, you should join our Discord and follow us on the socials. You know, that's the best way to know when we are doing stuff. We also have a YouTube where you can watch all the many countless hours of our content. It's been literal years that we've been doing stuff and putting it on the internet for you to see. So, yeah, go check it out. Let's see. We're getting into the weird time of the year because it's summer and people are traveling and stuff, so I'm not even going to try and say which shows are scheduled when. Just another reason for you to join our Discord, because that's where we will announce whether or not we're doing a stream that night. The one thing I will announce, though, because I'm the one running it, is next Tuesday is probably going to be the finale of Squire Squad. Yeah, we're wrapping things up, and yeah, it's gonna be probably a little bit longer than usual because we want to finish things off before we lose a cast member for a little while and then have to, put off finishing for, another month or however long. So join us next Tuesday for half the folks here as we wrap up the Masks game we've been doing for couple years, a year and a half. I'd have to go and look at dates. It's been a while. Um, but yeah, I think that's gonna do it for channel stuff. So let's go through and say who we are and what you do on the internet and on this show. And let's go reverse order, shake things up. So putting you on the spot, Sita.
Oh, I'm going first this time. Hello. Hi, internets. Hi, mom. I'm Sita. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet at Mr. Wilt, Mr. underscore Wilt. You can also find me on the Instagram at john.cita, where you can check out pictures of all the lovely food I make. You can also find me on Mondays playing Red Jenny. We'll get around to talking about some of them shows. And every other Tuesday with this when we do every other Tuesday with this lovely group. Um, the best place for you to find me when I'm not in a game is in the Discord or the game chats, trying to distract my fellow players and storytellers. Tonight, I will be playing Mozart, a robot war machine scholar pop culture reference machine um, with a heart of coal and a plasma cannon. Did I leave anything out? It's been a minute. I've forgotten.
I think that's it. Thank you.
And done.
Good job. All right, see you at take 5. And next we have Mecca with his new handle, which you'll see coming up on your screen.
Hello, hello. It's been a hot minute since I've done this, but I'm Mecca or at Mecca VT now on Twitter, at Mecca underscore VT on Twitch because it was taken, but it's fine. Yep, that's where you can find me on the internet. It's been a minute. I play, you can find me here every other Tuesday and occasionally on my channel where I stream Elden Ring and Valorant, unfortunately. Tonight I will be playing Miles Scarra, the cowardly red-headed pilot who's trying his best to survive through the universe, but back in the helm of his ship. So he's happy now.
Did you say Miles?
Yes, his name is Miles because there's a pun. I named
Not,
my
I did
character
not
as a
know that.
pun.
Man, that's fun.
But he goes by Scarra.
Good.
All right, next. Yeah, thank you. Next up, we've got LB.
Hello, everybody. I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and the Twitches, where I stream on Friday and Sunday nights. We are live on Thursdays. Lauren and the group play random party games. This Friday, I don't know for sure, I've been trying to play Dead Space for a while, but due to sickness and scheduling stuff, I have a friend coming into town, so it's a maybe. But we'll definitely be back on Sunday because we were in the middle of a battle in our D&D game. Alex was there. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was. I was worried because there's 3 rounds of combat and there's a lot of chaos, but it was so easy for them. So I'm going to amp it up to another level. And I'm just going to go for broke. So it's going to be super fun. I'm excited. So tune in for that. Yeah, that's it. Tonight I'm playing Neith. She is a mermaid with robot legs and the tech of the ship. She is the mechanic.
Thank you, LB. And in your defense, like my character on Sunday lost 2/3 of his health at one point.
Yeah, that's true. But like you guys you guys stopped like them from attacking almost every, and like you ended it within 3 rounds of combat, so I didn't get to hit hard. And the thing that you guys are going to fight, it's it was going to be one big thing, but now it's going to be one big thing plus 3 little things, and it's going to be so fun.
Well, looking forward to that next Sunday. Hello everyone, I'm Alex, OMG at some guy on the internet. Mostly I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays. Already talked about the Tuesday stuff, and then Sundays LB just talked about. I'm over there for those shenanigans. For this game, I am playing Teddy, who is a bunny person, the ship's captain, but also a courtesan and a telepath. And that's me. And let's turn things over to our game master for tonight.
Yeah. Hi, I'm David. You can find me here on Tuesday nights, where tonight I'm GMing, and next Tuesday I'll be playing a Superman ripoff. But yeah, that's about it. We got some leveling up we need to do before we get into it too much. I think most people are almost done, but we're gonna have to help Alex out because yeah, he was having setup stream, so
Yeah.
didn't get to.
Yeah, so partial warrior, partial psychic, so I need to save, or at least save, if not spend a point on telepathy.
Yes.
And then did we figure out if I have to do a thing for warrior as
to do
well?
it with warrior, I don't think you do. Yeah, because the only reason the expert has to do it is because they get the special, they get the special point. So I think warrior, you're good. You don't have to. You can put those skill points where you want to. Yeah.
Having attributes.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm reading this correctly, you can. So it's 1 for the first one, 2 for the second one, and 3 for so. Did those jump on top of each other? So it'd be if I want to up it 2, or can I only do it once per level?
You can spend as many points on it as you want. So yeah, they would they jump on top of each other, like what you're saying. So yeah, if you wanted to up it by 2,
you'd have to spend 3 points.
You'd have to spend 3 points. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I am gonna do that actually.
Yeah, folks, remember that to get to a +2, you need an 18. It's not standard D&D rules.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to achieve that.
Probably not.
I
we're not
want that
upping our foci,
Constitution
are
plus
we?
1, baby.
No
We're doing
foci
our-
this level.
Okay.
When do you guys get your next foci?
10, maybe?
Gaining skill points, efforts technique, purchase food. New foci, yep, at 10. Yeah, so you got one last level and you get another one at 10.
Okay.
Yeah. So probably one more. We'll see. We'll see if we get to 10, but we're probably definitely not going past 10. So
Sure. Let's see. So my health as the partial warrior, so it's 8d6 plus level times my con mod plus.
Plus some extra as partial warrior. I think. Adventurer, you are a partial warrior. My first, yeah. You get the +2 extra for being partial warrior.
Just +2 total or 2 per level?
2 per level.
Okay, so at this level, that would be plus 16.
Yes.
Okay, so total bonus of 24 plus 8d6. Ooh, that was... Oh
Oof.
my god. So
That's
Did you
terrible. That's
roll
horrible.
straight
That's
ones?
horrible.
so
Oh
on
my
8d6, I got 6 ones, a 3, and a 2. But
Alright.
one of the things about this system is because you reroll all your hit points each level, if you do worse, you go up by 1. So I go
what's your hit
from
point at now?
I go from a total of 50 to a total of 51.
Woof.
Yeah, I think that was just about the worst hit point level up I've had in any game ever.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a real counter after the roll I just had of having like 2 6s, 2 5s.
Yep. But okay, so I now have 2 points to spend on telepathy and 2 points on other things. How much does it take to get the one of the new abilities? Is it however many points the level is, or like if I'm trying to get a level 3?
Like a psychic technique or whatever they're called?
Yes. Yeah.
It would cost you 3 points.
Okay.
The techniques are pretty cheap. It's the taking the skill up a level that costs you.
Okay. So.
What is your telepathy at? Is it at a 3 right now?
Yeah, it's at 3.
Okay, so yeah, next level you could theoretically take it up to a 4, and that would cost you 5 points.
Yeah, but I might also want this telepathic assault skill, which it's pretty nice. I do have to start getting used to the idea of I'll have to do the establishing contact as the first round thing, but then with this I can just do 66 damage to them, though they make a mental save to half the damage. But yeah, that would be a big hit if I get it off. So probably going to do that because I can use one of my like skill points for the psychic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could put all of them into psychic every single time if you want.
Yeah. So gonna do that. Assault, and that leaves me 1 point left, which I'm debating just like moving shoot up to 0 because it always throws me off that shoot is also used for like throwing stuff.
Yeah.
And like it makes sense in my mind that Teddy would be good at throwing stuff, but not necessarily gun stuff. But also we have a lot of guns now, so might as well make use of them. Unless I want to save and bump up my punch. No, I'll save up for maybe increasing other stuff.
Okay.
Hey, David.
Yes.
I know we didn't get a focus this level, but I think I may have skipped that last level. If I'm looking at the math right, you get 1 at first level, 1 if you're either partial warrior or partial expert or partial, like everybody, those partials all get 1. I know warrior does. And then there would be 3 more at levels, I think it was 2, 5, and 7. So
yes.
That should be 5, correct?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I'm missing 1.
Yeah, then yeah,
That's
grab
fine.
1. Yeah, I guess everyone make sure you took a focus last time.
I have taken the focus last time.
I don't know if
I'm
I did.
at 5.
I don't.
Because I upgraded up my henchkeeper last time.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's right, because Diego's running around with you guys. I forgot about Diego.
Yes, remember, he's my loyal servant after I saved his life.
I have 1 listed for level 5, but we also get 1 at 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you meant that it was at level 5, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Can you even do that? I have a level 2, damn.
I'm just super powerful with that one. Well, I guess now let me quickly look through some
It's
of the
fucking.
yeah. Let's see.
I believe we also gave me an extra foci at the beginning, otherwise I'd have 4 because everybody else got their alien foci, and I was like, I'm just a human.
Yeah, we gave
That's-
you the
that's-
one that lets you have your
Flight.
robot legs and
Yes.
all that stuff. Yeah.
So I don't have to use fuel.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Ironhide might be good, just to make me harder to hit.
Yep, Savage Fray.
Oh,
Bonus stab skill, and all enemies adjacent to me at the end of my turn that I did not attack suffer the shock damage of my weapon.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes, that shall be the one.
Yeah, let's take Ironhide. Because I like.
okay.
I don't know why, but across most games I've been playing lately, I've been just all about increasing the armor class.
And in this game, that can be so helpful because it really relies on little people. Like if they hit you, the weapons just being relatively deadly on their own, like they do a good amount of damage. So having a high AC can really make a huge difference.
Yep.
Oh, right.
What that means. Ooh, but can I edit my armor class directly?
Um, yeah, it's stupid, but can. Let me pull up. Let me pull up. Let me pull up like Pleasant. I think he's okay.
This would make armor class of 15 plus half your character level rounded up, so that's 19. And then with a shield, that would put me at 20.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I guess I could make like a custom item that is Ironhide. Just be wearing that.
Yeah. How do you? And let me check. Maybe it's an edit.
Yeah, it seems odd that they let you add these things so easily to your sheet that it wouldn't recognize, like, oh, you've got Ironhide, let's increase your armor class.
Yeah.
Do you have on your sheet? Do you have like other armor on that might be interfering with it?
Maybe? Let me try taking some off. No, that just dropped my armor.
I had the same problem with the innate armor on my combat mode. I just had to make
I see innate armor now.
Oh,
Innate
okay,
AC
yeah.
is a thing I can do, so I'll just make that 19, and then I've got a shield, so 20.
All right. Okay. Remembering how these sheets work now. Okay, yeah. All right. So yeah. Then if that's where we're at, we can jump to a bit of a recap. You all have been tasked by the Emperor of Minerva to investigate a nearby system that was previously unknown. That the Oasis of the Stars, a cruise ship, the largest cruise ship in the sector, had kind of disappeared to. No one had known what had happened to it. It had been missing for several weeks. And it turned out that whatever these yarn like alien things that you guys encountered in metadimensional space had encountered the Oasis of the Stars and taken it over. You had kind of limited information. Their escape craft had managed to make its way to Zabuth, whereas a different team had found it and kind of reported the information and gone to investigate this new system. You all made your way there. You did a scan of the system. You found that the Oasis of the Stars seemed to be in perfectly good shape and it was docked with a partially built ring gate, some pre-tech that allowed kind of the Terran mandate to quickly, like instantaneously travel between star systems. Kind of if you've seen Stargate, think a giant ass Stargate, kind of like Stargate mashed with like Mass Effect. There's just like a big old thing out in space that's out near like Pluto or whatever. And it allowed for not just instantaneous travel, it allowed for ships much larger than could be accommodated by Spike Drive to travel between systems as well. It seemed to be docked with that, and you guys did a good enough job scanning it that you noticed that it was like Borg style being rearranged, this ancient jump gate. And you also detected around like 150 signals from escape shuttles that had made their way to this planet, that was to a habitable planet, in fact, an inhabited planet in the system. It, by scans, looks to be of about medieval level technology. It's got roads, it's got buildings, but you're not seeing, in terms of like emissions and stuff like that, you're not seeing much past, like fires and stuff like that, which just so it's known, it's well on its way to climate change. Just that mass amount of fires does a number on the environment to begin with, and there was also a lot of like weird abnormalities on the surface of the planet, just like weird environments that kind of like didn't quite seem to fit where they were. The geography didn't make sense, and you're not really quite sure what's going on with that. But you were able to make contact with the other team that had made its way here. It was on the planet and was in the process of rescuing some folks from some of these escape shuttles. The escape shuttles can hold about 10 people on them each, which puts the 150 that are down here, the 150 to 200, it looks like round about half to a little over half of the crew and passengers may have made it to this planet. The crew kind of gave you a little bit of a rundown. They said that whatever this stuff is, whatever this creature is that took over the Oasis of the Stars, it's in complete control of it. It tried to trick them into docking it with a fairly obvious lie, telling them that there was a welcoming taco bar ready for them, and after they called it out on it, it dropped the pretense and is basically asking for some kind of conference to be set up. That after they gather some folks, they're going to jump back and talk to try and get some stuff out to some leaders and organize some kind of conference with this entity, which I don't remember if they told you what its name was. We'll say that they did. It is going by Strand.
I do recall Strand. So, I had a thought where to go. About the them trying to conference leaders together. Do we think that the arriving fleets would do a similar thing, or is it that that's going to be mostly military might, and so it would still benefit this other ship eventually jumping to go be like, hey, there's also this aspect of things? Or would it make more sense for us to be like, hey, people are already on their way, so um,
I mean, you could tell them. They could. It might be if that's happening, they might decide to stay and wait for that ship, that fleet to arrive to kind of get an assessment of the situation before they jump back and say what's going on.
okay. Yeah, so I think at some point in our, because you said before, like, it's taking hours between our messages because we're still that far away.
Yeah, you guys are out. You guys are out near, past where like Neptune and stuff would be. So, yeah, communications is still at the speed of light, which puts you guys, several light hours away from the planet. So yeah, you can send a message updating them on that. And yeah, they 10 or 14 hours later or whatever, you'll get a response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the other thing that they mentioned was that the populace here, they seem to have some kind of like odd psychic traditions. And they believe that creatures from that the people, the survivors from the Oasis of the Stars are demons, that things that come from space are demons, and they're kind of yeah, they're a bit zealous in their pursuit of these individuals. Um,
Yeah, and you had said that kind of their psychicness manifests as what we would call magic.
yeah, they call themselves like wizards and stuff like that, and they seem to be capable of summoning creatures and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, it's some odd psychic traditions to be sure. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, you guys are here. You were also kind of given like a secondary objective to find a Minervan diplomat and a diplomat that the from kind of a far off system within the sector that is not in normal contact with your cluster here. Let's get you over. Let's get you off of this page onto the map. That'll make it a little bit. So yeah, your cluster is just this one like right around you, like kind of like centered on New Soul here, and yeah, there's a diplomat from somewhere far off. It would actually be it's like up around here somewhere, up at like 50501 or 0602 or something like that. I don't remember which one, but yeah. So it's a pretty unusual contact, and so if that can be salvaged, they would love it. They're going to pay you. The emperor's going to pay you. Was it 1,000,000 credits?
Probably have it in my notes.
There is also a separate bounty on each of these people for a significant sum as well. Mm.
I'm not actually seeing a specific.
I believe I
reward.
remember it was being 1,000,000.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 1,000,000, and then
And we get to keep the ship. Well, we get
yeah,
to keep the ship no matter what, but
Well, so we got 500,000 up front and the ship, and 1,000,000 on our return, but that was separate from any of the bounties.
gotcha. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, the 1,000,000 is just you guys doing this. There's also a 1,000,000 credit bounty on this diplomat, and the Emperor has put a 500,000 credit bounty on the far off diplomat.
And are these diplomats? Sorry, I might miss this. Are they on the planet? On the
You
ship?
haven't confirmed that they are yet, but with a quick the data that's being transmitted from the escape shuttles, you could run a search on those and determine if they are or not, because they are transmitting who is in each shuttle. So actually, that's not even something you would have to roll for, because it would be ridiculous for Neith to fail at rolling a basic Google search. So yes, they are there, and they are on the same shuttle, but the shuttle is currently broadcasting an auto distress that has not been updated in over a day.
So it could have changed. I guess we wouldn't find out until we went over to the shuttle.
Yeah, so you're not sure. You could try and make contact with the shuttle, but again, it's going to be like a 14-hour kind of like delay on response. But yeah, I think that's the recap. We'll kind of open it up. You guys are out here. You're a safe distance away from the Oasis of the Stars, so you're not within any kind of firing range. Mm-hmm. You could try and make contact with it. I don't believe you have yet.
I believe we just left Outwall, pretty much.
Yeah. You got here. You did a scan. You made contact. Theoretically, so what we can do to make this make sense, so you guys just haven't been sitting here for like
a month,
for like 48 hours or something with this conversation with the other ship, is this information's coming in as you guys are doing other things. Whatever you need to know to act, you already know it, but
sure. I guess a question for the crew, for our crew. So they're already planet side. Do we ask them to check on the diplomat shuttle? Because it's still going to take us a day or two to get there. And, it seems sporting to offer to split the bounty with them for, doing the bulk of the securing the diplomats and making sure they're safe. But that's, 750,000 credits. That's the number that we would be potentially giving up for that.
I don't like the monetary loss on that kind of numbers. I've worked in a lot of stuff like that, and that just doesn't seem like a good deal to me. We've got a proficient crew. I believe we can take care of it.
Right. Don't spoil my fun. And in the time it's taken for us to like travel and the time for the messages to come through, like Mozart has added some spikes onto his shoulders and has changed, you've seen him tooling around with it. His battle axe, he's changed it into like a claymore. So he's got a big plasma claymore, and he's made himself look a little extra demonic or evil knight-like.
You're here to confirm
the
rumors.
Put a faceplate over with the glowing eyes. Yes, fuck yes.
Demons are coming from the sky. We can prove it. Look at that one.
if we're gonna go planet
Look at
side,
what he's wearing. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I was gonna say if we're going if we plan to go down to the planet, if they're mostly thinking that people from the stars or monsters and aliens or whatever, obviously we are aliens to them. But I mean, I could potentially sneak in if we need to, because I am human. As long as I got a different change of clothes, I'm sure I could blend in pretty easy. Maybe down the accent a bit, but it should be fine. I don't think you guys would be able to join me. No offense. Unless I wanted backup, but I really don't know if. If I went with any of you, if that were the situation where we'd have to go down and infiltrate, I don't want to end up in a combat situation with the wizards.
Do we know what these inhabitants of the planet actually look like? They might look like me.
I believe they're human, from the little bit of knowledge that I've gotten.
Well, yeah, they would have said it was human in their
human-like
thing.
I could send Pleasant down with you. His demeanor is pleasant.
He is definitely not human, though. He still looks like a giant. Pleasant is definitely a good person, but he's still seems to, at least people of maybe their respective giant titan of armor, and be intimidating. I am not an intimidating person by any means, unless I've got my guns with me. But I don't think
then.
well, I'm a good shot. Hey, look.
I
Okay,
mean, you do not look intimidating with guns because you have such a squishy exterior.
So do you. But that's not. I'm just saying, if we do have to go down to the planet, then I am somebody who potentially could infiltrate.
Pleasant is actually going to.
What?
Oh, I was going to say Pleasant was going to say something. You go ahead.
I do not say this often, but I agree with Scarra.
I do wonder.
I need a recording of that. Pleasant, can you just quickly save that?
Absolutely. I do have one quick question. Do we know what language they speak?
I hope
it's possible they don't speak any existing languages. It's been 600 years since their deviated path from Terran space.
I could pretend to be mute.
But then you would not be able to understand them.
But if I speak to them in a foreign language, they might just kill me.
So we all go down and kill them instead?
Well, I don't want to interfere with another planetary life system and then make them hate the stars even more.
Why not?
Also, because it will kind of, I don't know if it's a spacefarer in me, but interfering with a planetary system that hasn't discovered space travel yet, I feel like it would just kind of, well, you know, make things worse if we don't want to leave too much of a footprint on that planet, even though the footprint's pretty big already.
I think the cat might be out of the bag on that one. There's already 150 spacecraft crash landed on their planet, and these people will be rescued by fleets of ships coming in a few days.
Well, I was just trying to keep my mind open.
Perhaps we send Teddy and Scarra, because Teddy is fluffy like a toy.
I mean, yes, that, but I was going to say that I can pick up languages very quickly as well.
And also read their minds.
I mean, if we just put a big cloak on you, you can pass off as a human.
Perhaps, Scarra, you could pretend to be a wizard and say that you've summoned Teddy.
Like an old-timey magician.
That's how I made my hair red. Maybe should I dye my hair? Should I get rid of the dye in my hair? Do you think they have red hair down there?
I think gingers are universal.
I mean, this isn't natural though. This is dyed.
Well, maybe if they've got the weird geography and other psychic phenomenon, maybe they've got weird hair colors.
I hope so. I don't want to get rid of the dye. I really like it. Works well with the jacket.
I think walking around with a giant rabbit person is going to be more jarring than your hair color.
Perhaps you could put on a wizard hat. No one would notice.
Should we scan the escape pods before we get too far ahead of ourselves? I don't know it will take 14 hours to confirm whether the diplomats are on the side, but I don't want to get rid of our money by conferring with the ship. Do you think that's a good plan, or do we want to just go in person?
I think in person would be best. That way we don't have to split the pot, and we can see for ourselves beyond speculation.
Right, well, I'll start setting the course, I suppose, if we're all in agreement. Of course, Captain.
No, this is
judgment.
The crew seems to prefer keeping the funds for ourselves, which we will absolutely put to good use. And they've already lasted this long. I guess Are we reasonably confident that like they have enough in the escape pods that like another day or two isn't gonna be make it or break it, or
Oh, like supply wise?
yeah.
Yeah. They should be set for a little while, and the planet is habitable with potential food options and stuff like that.
I mean, if humans slow down there, it should be habitable.
Though, who knows how, again, as Pleasant said, how far along they've diverged from us. Maybe we all go down there and we get the plague and just, oops, that's it, game over.
We have Erstwhile. She can cure us.
That's
She
true.
can cure us, sorry.
Yeah. Erstwhile could cure, I think, anything. Let me look at.
I mean,
Erstwhile
if they can bring back the person's limbs, then I'm sure they can cure an illness.
It's a different power.
If one of us quickly temporarily die, and then they bring us back, will it get rid of the illness?
Oh, Erstwhile could go with you.
An Erstwhile, like, flesh bend or something?
Erstwhile
they can turn into a human.
Has metamorphed now. Yeah. Erstwhile can turn into a human.
Mozart makes an audible huff and then turns around in his chair and just folds his arms.
I mean, when I first met you, Mozart, you were in are you in your smaller form currently? Are you in your?
No, he's like never in it.
Okay, well, if you, I know it's probably not comfortable.
I hate that thing.
But if you wanted to infiltrate with us, then at least that form would probably not pass off as weird.
Right, look at the spikes, okay?
Yeah, they're very intimidating.
They are very cool, yes. I do also imagine Erstwhile, like, transforming into human and be like, look at me, I'm such a squishy, weird human, and just like, blah, 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 blah.
I'm walking on 2 legs.
Yep.
All right, but I'm bringing my case.
So
this is coming with us.
Erstwhile could also transform other people into humans. So the only one that couldn't be transformed would be Mozart.
Ting, ting.
Oh, they have a humanoid form. Kind of. I mean, yeah, they pass off as human. I mean, the floating box behind them could just be explained as magic.
And then, Pleasant couldn't either. Diego's already a human, so Diego can go.
He's already kind of in the medieval thing with his sword.
It's true. Yeah, he's wearing like monk robes.
Yeah. I mean, Neith, would you be willing to be transformed for a little bit?
Are we certain that I could be transformed back?
I mean, we've seen Erstwhile change back, so
Erstwhile would kind of be like, yeah, it's no problem at all. Don't worry about it. Yeah. It's just got to stop, concentrating on it so much.
You wouldn't have to walk around. Yeah, we might need to teach you how to walk without metal legs.
I mean, we've got a couple days until we arrive. That's not a lot of time, but good practice.
Practice being humans.
Don't worry, guys.
I
have a crash course on how to be human. Step 1, drink a lot of coffee.
Leans into Mozart. This plan seems like something I'm not gonna like. So if I start turning native, would you just mind punching me and knocking me out so they can turn me back?
Darling. Oh wait, no, I gotta do my voice too. Oh, mon cher, I would not let you stay like those ugly meat sacks any day. I put my word on it.
Bless your heart. All right, I'm ready to go.
All right. So Erstwhile will turn you and themselves into a person, so you could practice walking around with a normal gait. Teddy, you're already close enough to a person. You don't have to be.
Yeah.
Unless you want to.
I mean, we can pass them off as my summon if we want.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, I guess, mechanically, like, what of our abilities and stuff would carry over in the metamorphosis, or does the ability even go that far?
So, yeah, your abilities would carry over. It doesn't do anything basically, let's see here. I'll just post it so we can. Yeah. So into any humanoid with form within 50% of their own mass. And yeah, can go down to the DNA if you have DNA to impersonate.
Do we?
I mean, you have y'all's DNA. You could
Okay.
all be Scarra.
You could all be weird, mismatched
Diego.
versions of me. Yeah.
I think there's like
it's. I think it's also a little macabre, but I don't think it's entirely out of the question that Mozart just has human DNA like samples. Roy, I'll
Or
kill him
erstwhile,
on this
honestly.
day.
yeah.
Yeah, the doctor.
The doctor.
You know,
Yeah.
doctor.
Erstwhile's good at psychic doctoring.
Mhm.
Not any kind of doctoring
They flunked out medical
with a
school,
minus
right?
one heal.
I think Neith transforms and like is a little wobbly on the legs, but she's like had to think about walking for a while with the metal ones. I think the weirdest thing to her is having lips.
And also not super sharp teeth.
Yeah, like I mean, and a tongue. I don't know. The whole she spends most of her time going.
Oh, right. Neith, this might be a weird thing for you, but you can't sleep in water.
Well, obviously, I don't have gills, so.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say before your subconscious was like, I'm just going to go lie down and then I'm going to drown when I'm sleeping. Well, obviously, you wouldn't go to sleep because you're in water and you immediately realize the problem, but just so you don't do it.
I just really appreciate you looking out for me, Scarra. It's just like amazing.
God, not hearing the synthesized voice is really strange.
No, I can't mask my sarcasm now. Damn it.
Mm.
I mean, you can. I can give you a crash course on that. That's how all politicians kind of
Please
talk.
Don't teach them. I'm begging you. I need this.
Oh,
David, what are the chances I can make a couple of visual details, visual changes to the synth outfit, the synth shell?
Oh, like the actual shell itself, like
yeah, like could I just give it a big old white bushy wizard beard?
Sure.
What are the chances I
there's
could
no reason
also
not to let you do that?
Do we have any equipment on the ship that could synthesize some like clothing or something?
Oh, dude, yeah. She would have been naked.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Teddy probably has like a right, and like runs and grabs a blanket and brings it back and it's like, we'll see what clothes we have available, but
I do have some spares, I guess, though I don't know if they would fit you.
Mammals are so weird.
You guys can't synthesize clothes,
I have spare human clothes.
you guys have like the armory and some. You guys are pretty well supplied. You could probably make some out. Like if someone has like work or something like that. Maybe trade. Well, no, not trade because that's specifically
trade. I also have work.
Yeah, if someone wants to roll work, you could try and make some medieval appropriate outfits.
Happy Pride.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I will roll a work. Unless anybody has a higher than a +0.
this crew does not work.
Attribute charisma? I say to make stylish clothes.
I'd allow dexterity as well, since it's going to be like sewing.
Yeah, I'll do dexterity. I also have a +1 to that. 7.
Yeah, you're good. I mean, in fact, like the fact that it's not like expertly crafted probably lends itself well too, and that like these are cheap clothes. some peasants. You probably like can modify some of Diego's like spare robes pretty easily. They're just like white monk robes, like plain fabric.
I would like very much to steal one of Scarra's bathrobes and with like construction paper and yarn sew some stars on it. Like, can we say it's like a pale blue? And I just like sew a bunch of gold stars on it.
Sure.
And then maybe some more construction paper, makes himself a little cone hat.
You managed to find one of Scarra's non-red piece of clothing.
I think it'd be even funnier if it's just like glued with like some glue from the from like the not the mech bay, the engineering or something like that, like some kind of just like super strong adhesive space glue, and you're just like, here we go, construction paper.
Yes.
All right, so we've got a home crafts wizard with a bushy gray beard. Yeah, and I would say, Neith, since you're not impersonating like a specific person, you would be able to describe to Erstwhile like what you wanted to look like and who you wanted to be and stuff like that. Same to you, Teddy, whenever you want to.
Yeah,
if you want to be.
I think maybe just in like the initial part of like helping Neith become accustomed to being a human, I think Teddy would go along with it in like solidarity and be like, this is close to what I am, but still a bit weird. But then I think if we actually go planet side, stick with the idea of Teddy being someone's summon.
I think during like the first few minutes, Scarra would laugh at Neith's attempt to walk and then try and help.
Appreciated. I think
Yeah.
she would like give you like being able to like kind of move her eyebrows and get more expression in her face, because normally it's just like, fish.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more apparent how she actually feels about things now. So yeah, but she's like way more sarcastic. Like every time you're like, is she being sarcastic? She probably was. But I think Neith would have gone with she likes the dreads because that's kind of what her hair looked like before. I mean, her whatever kind of fishy hair she had. So probably like dreads, a tanner skin, a probably round soft face, and fairly like toned, I think is what she would go for, because she's fairly tough. But yeah, just a white robe all over, and she's like really just leaning on things and holding things as much as possible. And like if you like look away from her and like look back, she's probably like doing weird things, like moving her legs up and like separating them and like really just exploring the space.
Is there ever a moment where you try to climb up a wall like you would have been able to in the past?
I think probably just like, oh, let me grab this, and then like, how do you do this?
That's what you need mag boots for.
Oh,
I think Erstwhile probably is still like a giant person, because they
really
can
50% of mass
can only shrink themselves by 50% mass, so it's still this really big person.
It casts a gigantic spell on themselves. That's fine.
Enlarge.
Enlargement. Yes.
A professional bodybuilder from our world.
Yeah. It's like Shaq. It's just giant.
It's huge. I guess I will go to the bridge and start flying towards the cockpits over the next day.
That's also going to cut down on how long you need to like get communications back. Like it's
Mhm.
going to start after a day. You've cut the time in half, So yeah, some communications start getting there quicker. I assume at some point, some kind of communication is sent to the escape pod to see if anyone answers.
Mhm.
And a there would be a text response back that would just read, "Who is this?"
Oh, have we named this ship yet?
Nope.
Are we just calling it the Nad Boredom 2? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought we did, but I cannot.
Oh, um,
I don't think we named it. I think we were
Wow.
either like tossing up maybe new names or just going for the Nat Bottom too. I don't remember any.
We
I
might
don't
have
remember any conversation about this, to be honest.
yeah, we might have also been discussing because we got like a grav flyer and like maybe it was coming up with a name for that. I'm trying to quickly scan through my notes. Yeah, I don't see anything for the ship, but I suppose the ship's name is less important and would, communicate that, we are here on a special mission from the Minervan Emperor, to check on the status of the Oasis of the Stars.
Okay. Yeah, whiles later, you would get back like, "That's good to know."
A little perturbed at the unresponsiveness of that response, but just can you please confirm the status of the inhabitants of the shuttle?
And at this point, now, like by the time this one would get back to you, you could probably basically have like pretty quick communication, like within a few minutes,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And yeah, it would just be like they've taken shelter nearby.
I'm just gonna look over to Teddy, who's I assume is also on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that means they're on the planet.
That is my assumption as well at this point. Yeah, I guess as we've gotten closer, are there any escape pods still in orbit, or have they all landed at this point?
They would have all landed. They landed, they've been here for 3 weeks. So
Okay.
Right. Well,
yeah, they landed a while ago.
Okay.
assuming the inhabitants of the planet are hostile, we probably should get down there pretty snappy to try and rescue the diplomats, because I don't know how well it will go over if we bring back dead diplomats.
Generally not well. I have been present at some courts when that happened, and usually it means a war.
Now, I forget, and this is out of game actually. Are we able to land this ship, or do we have
Yeah,
like a
you can
pod?
land it.
Okay.
Yep.
You also
and
have the
remember how
grav
big our ship
flyer.
was.
You have the grav flyer, so if you wanted to leave it in orbit, you could, and like leave like Pleasant up here, because Pleasant can't pass for a person no matter what, and he could pilot it down to like land or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
to pick you guys up if you need it, and then you could take the grav flyer down because it can fly.
Right.
How many people does it fit again?
I believe you can fit all of us.
I started trying to fill out the sheet and then realized, like, the character sheet is not actually that conducive to statting it out.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a drawback of the sheets is the come on, what page is
You
this
put it into
stuff on?
bio and info about those kind of things.
That could be good, yeah.
if you want more of a
Not a
description of that.
starship.
I just got
Vehicles.
Yeah.
Graph flyer. All right. Graph flyer.
Which page of the PDF is this?
It is 79 of the book, 78, 79.
Okay, yeah.
Speed point. Crew is 6
So it could
of
be
the graph flyer.
Does it have an additional cargo space at all or not? Because I am not going down to that planet with just the flesh suit.
You guys, yeah, it can have cargo. Yeah.
Graph flyers are the usual long-distance transport on most Tech Level 4 worlds. Large enough to support the gravitics required for true flight, a few models can even reach low orbit. All can hover and climb with typical gravitic ease. This particular graph flyer is a small craft suitable for an affluent owner and their family.
So you have like a small like private jet, basically.
Yeah. Also, I went back in the chat in our Escape Velocity on Discord and realized that we did talk about the name of the ship a little bit.
Oh.
We talked about it on stream, and I see a message from LB about talking about like Loser Club or something. I don't remember exactly what we were saying. And I said I remember somebody messaged me about saying maybe Failure Alliance, which is we were talking about in French. It was Alliance de
right.
like or something.
I don't know
exactly how to pronounce that.
I mean,
I am remembering now because I'm still obsessed with it. I've still been watching it. Hyperfixation, go!
Yeah, so I was just like, if we wanted to name it something like that, because there was nothing directly. Loser isn't a direct translation in French, so.
I do not recall my French well enough for that.
I took 3 years of it in high school.
Yep, that plus 3 years in middle school. I was nearly fluent at one point, and now omelette du fromage is no. I've got more than that, but
Je m'appelle Naka. I can count to 10.
Do we want to do the Failure Squad just or something like that? Do we want to go along that lines? We don't have to make it French. We made it French because the first name was French, and I don't even remember why we did that.
I guess the question is, based on what societies we know exist currently, what is like a dead language that we could pull from that people aren't going to know? Like, you call yourselves a bunch of losers?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, honestly, you could pick a random language.
Welsh.
Welsh. Sure.
It would
you could say Welsh isn't spoken in this sector. So basically,
I would hope it would have died out by now.
Oh, it's somewhere. Every language that exists is somewhere in human space. They've colonized like thousands, maybe millions of planets. It's somewhere.
Yeah.
All of the Star
Welsh,
Trek languages exist in this sector, and many of the Star Wars languages exist in this sector. So, and Elvish, I believe.
That's that direct translation which is Y in English. That just means the.
Yeah, so the losers would be
Collier. Sorry, I should say.
Gonna have to put that into Discord so we have any idea.
It's there.
Okay.
Is this Welsh?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
cool.
So COLLWYR.
Right.
I won't be saying that.
I'm sorry.
Just so people know.
Yeah. It's got the weird double L thing, so.
Yep. This is just a little treat for us, and it will never come up again until we forget what's our ship called?
I'll remember it's
We
in
could-
Welsh, maybe.
We could change the name of the Nad Boredom because that's probably. I'm just gonna modify the Nad Boredom's stuff. I think actually we have been. Yeah, yeah. It's been modified slightly to be what your new ship is.
Okay.
So we could. Can you guys edit that, or do I need to edit?
Um, I think we can. All right. I have updated the
Oh.
name.
Cool. All right. So yeah, that's if you guys want to keep the. So if you want to keep your ship in orbit, Pleasant can stay there, and then he can like fly into a low orbit to pick you guys up. He'd also fly into a low orbit to drop you guys off.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just so if things do go haywire, and like I don't want the ship to get boarded while we're down on the planet. Like we're away from it. I know Pleasant could probably, but Pleasant can't attack them. Is the thing. So
he can defend himself, but he can't kill them. Yeah,
exactly. So I think we should leave the ship in orbit and fly down ourselves, at least to be safe.
And
Having the ship being raided.
yeah, and it helps, if we want to try a more subtle approach rather than just, oh, here's the first of what will soon be many giant ships.
All right.
If we're going for that stealth, which it seems we are because we have already started transforming people into humans.
Yeah.
So you are now basically able to have instantaneous communication with the escape shuttle if you want. You're about ready to go in the grav flyer. Do you plan to land nearby the escape shuttle and kind of hike over? Are you gonna do a flyover to? Well, I guess you're close now. You could do like a detailed scan from the ship
Mm-hmm.
and basically, do some big satellite imagery of the area. So the ship has, or the pod has landed in an area that the other crew hasn't been to yet. They give you a little bit of a breakdown on like kind of how their societies are broken up. The societies are broken up into mandates, kind of like their word for kingdoms. And the continent that you guys are on, from their understanding, their interaction with some locals, is the Terran Mandate, which you would all recognize to be the old Earth Empire's name. And that they are an aggressive group that are currently invading many of the other mandates. They've taken over an entire continent and have started invading another, which I will say is the only other continent. There's two continents and there's a absolute shit ton of islands all over the place. And the two continents are close together. Kind of think, Europe, Asia, and Africa, like. And then there's just no other continents. Are you muted?
Oh, I said plenty of islands.
Yes. Yeah. Absolute crap ton. Enough so that like even with medieval level tech, you could pretty easily circumnavigate the globe by just going from island to island.
I just thought of something. Would my hover cube have enough space in it to also house one of the drones we got?
Oh, your hover cube thing.
Yeah.
Probably not, because it's like a backpack type thing, right? Those
The
drones,
cube?
yeah. I mean,
No, I
it's
mean
big,
it's big enough
right?
it's big enough to house my omen in it. So it's like
Oh,
a couple of meters by a couple of meters at least.
I'm probably not. The drones, are you talking about the new drones you guys got?
I
Yeah,
got the
the
Void
Void
Hawk.
Hawks.
Yeah, because those are pretty big, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
A smaller drone, it probably could, but yeah.
Is there a trunk in this in our ground floor?
Is there a what?
Like a boot? I don't know what the
American term is. Do you want to bring one of these drones?
Yeah, like could we bring one or both of them in the grav flyer?
Yeah, sure. You could I mean, honestly, they could fly down with you too, right? Mm-hmm. These things can fly and then they could land nearby and you could charge them or whatever, and even if there's not. So we'll say you get them down there, or however you get them down there, and you got your drones.
I just looked over at my sheet and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot we have drones. And then I looked at what I named the drone and I'm very disappointed in myself. I called it the miles per hour after my own name.
Yeah.
Spelled with miles with a Y, just like my name.
All right.
Mecca, a month ago, you were so smart.
Yep. And,
thanks, Past Me.
Thanks, Past Me, for making me facepalm.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, and there's enough room for everybody. Yeah, because with Diego coming, that's going to make 6.
We'll have to figure out how to shuttle the diplomats back with us.
Well,
you'll just have to probably call in the ship to land.
Yeah, I mean, by the time we've got the diplomats, I don't think that would be like our exit strategy at that point. We don't need to worry about being stealthy at that point.
And also, you guys don't have to only save the diplomats. They're there with 8 other people, so you could. I believe we figured out you guys could take 30 people. So if you wanted to, you could pick up 2 more escape pods. And there's a bunch of bounties out. Basically, if there's a survivor, you can get paid for that survivor.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I imagine our approach will be like, hey, let's find the diplomats shuttle. If there are, other survivors nearby, cool, great. If there's more than 30, we'd just be like, hey, we're the vanguard. There's a whole fleet coming, and they will be here soon.
Right. So what is our plan? When we fly down to the planet, should we land and then start walking around on foot, or should we scan for the pods, like the escape pods? Or do that from here?
Yeah, it sounded like we were doing some satellite scans and figured some of this stuff out, and so now it's like, okay, we know where the escape pods are that we're interested in, and I imagine we'll want to more or less directly fly there. I don't know if we want to like land in their camp, but
I think we should land a bit further away. Stealth infiltration. What's the point of all of that if we just land in the middle of everything?
I mean, it depends how close they are to any of the natives of the planet.
Oh, right. You meant... Oh, sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about landing in the middle of a native camp, and I was like...
Oh, yeah, no. Just slam our ship into one of their cities.
Like, hey, guys, look at my new magic invention.
Yeah. Hello, fellow kids.
Did all that work for disguising.
I don't think the grav flyer has a camo on it.
Yeah, so the escape shuttle that you're looking for is it's a little off the beaten path. It is probably what would be, by horse, and wagon, like a 2-day ride. If you're, on a horse like Speedy, pushing the horse as hard as you can, you could probably get there in less than a day. From the nearest settlement. It's not by any of the roads, so that would also make travel by via horse a little bit more dangerous. But yeah, give me some kind of scan check. This is what you get for free. Anything more is going to need a detailed scan. So it's going to be a program check, I believe.
I got it, guys. Don't worry. I got a 6.
You're not used to the non-webbed fingers. Doing typing.
All right. So yeah, that's
Your
kind of
hands
what
don't
you
stick
got.
to the keyboard as much anymore.
It's a little off the beaten path. Um, and there's it's kind of out in some plains, so there's not a lot of stuff to go to. There's no forests or anything like that nearby. I will say the other thing that you do notice is that the ecosystem seems to be entirely made up of like earth plants. So it's grass, it's trees, it's it's cows and horses. It's not there wasn't whatever this planet was. It was fully terraformed and colonized by the mandate. There wasn't an existing ecosystem here.
Is this the Wild West episode of Star Trek?
I mean, it's definitely one of the hey, we're in a weird planet episodes of Star Trek. We're in a weird ancient, planet, or maybe we time traveled or whatever. Depends on which Star Trek.
I've been watching a lot of the
Maybe.
Orville, like a lot of the Orville recently. So
I need to get back into that. I watched the first season and then just
currently
fell
watching
off.
it. I'm currently watching the third season.
Oh man, that's good. It's best Star Trek show that's come out in a long time.
I'm loving it.
It's not even Star Trek.
I know. Maybe that's the reason I'm liking it.
All right. So yeah, how close do you want to land to the escape zone? You could land right next to it if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no planet settlements nearby, then we probably want to land close by. Again, I don't probably not right on top of them, especially given how cagey they're being in their responses to us.
Yeah, I think we land maybe like 30-minute walk.
Are you giving any heads up to the shuttle that you're communicating with that you're going to be there, or are you just going to show up?
What do we think, crew?
I feel like we should show up and maybe scout out, like look into their settlement, like their little camp. See if they're like actually them, or if they're like alive and stuff and haven't been taken over like by like Borg weird strand things. I think that's smart. I don't think we should. Maybe this is just me being like cautious, but every time I've been cautious in the past, I've been correct. So, I think we shouldn't hail them.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe, yeah, we do like a flyby, and then after we've scouted them out, maybe be like, okay, we've got a lock on your position. We'll be there in, maybe
a few hours.
Yeah, overestimate the time to them of how long we'll be there. Maybe not quite such a big difference if we're landing like 30 minutes away. But we'll be there in an hour, and then we're there in 30 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Give them some time to start preparing whatever they're going to do, but not enough time.
Right. I know we said we're going to be cosplaying as the and we're going to be like wearing the same clothes as the people on the planet. Am I still able to like have my weapons on me?
Yeah.
It's lots of cloaks and stuff. Plenty of space to
under
hide.
A cloak. And I will also mention, you guys have designed what you believe to be accurate clothing for the planet.
Yeah.
Could be completely wrong.
Could very much be a Back to the Future situation where Marty shows up in the colorful cowboy outfit.
Let's also be real. Some of us design clothing that they think will fit in with the planet, and some of us just wanted to glue some stars onto a robe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm getting that robe back.
I've never had clothing before, so this is new to me, and it's scratchy and
that mask was like a clothing item.
Yeah, but not on my body.
Well, was on your head, and your head is attached to your body. So if you think about it, it was on your body.
I've been wearing clothing this whole time. It's totally the same thing.
Yeah. I'm glad we agree with each other. See, now we're vibing with each other to sarcasm. It's great.
Okay. So, anyways,
So
what?
glad I can tell.
So, what are we like? As far as being we're not blending because we're talking to the spaceship people, right? We don't have to blend in with as part of the natives. We just don't want to freak them out too much in case they're there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're wearing is fine.
Yeah, I think so.
If anybody asks, like, why are you wearing that? We can just be like, well, we're trying to blend in with the settlement so we don't freak them out.
Fair. Okay. All right, I'll expect most of you guys to do the talking as per usual. Is that true?
Yep. That's the idea.
Is Teddy currently human?
No, he
Or,
is
no.
he is still in bunny form, but I think cloak on and like has ears pressed down, and so it's a little uncomfortable for him, and it's also evident like, oh, Teddy is short. He is a short king at 5 foot nothing with his ears not standing up.
And if you can't speak Spanish, also, since Diego can't have his translator on him, he just speaks Spanish. He understands you all perfectly.
We can't
But-
understand him apart from Teddy.
Yeah, he only speaks Spanish, and he still is also keeping his hands clenched together.
He's just a weird pilgrim that none of the
Mhm.
other mandates have heard about.
All right. Yeah. So we'll get you guys landed, and then I think we'll call the break. So you guys do. You're going to do a flyover in the Grav.
Yeah. Ideally far enough away that they're not gonna notice us, but maybe that's not possible.
If there are tree lines and like if we're doing a flyover, I'll try and like lower myself to like the top of the trees just so like if people are looking out, they'll just see the trees. They won't see the thing like in the air.
It's in some. It's in fields, so it's
right.
Tall grass. But
in that case, I will fly above the clouds, and then we'll just look down if we
Okay.
can. I'll like go in and out of the clouds kind of thing. So it's
okay,
just
so
like,
you're gonna
that's just like
try and drop below the clouds for a minute, see
Yeah.
what you can see, get back up.
We don't even need to do this with the graph craft. We're being silly. We have drones that
True.
have like advanced sensor arrays on them. That's one of the things we got. We could
and they're
just be
much harder to see.
somewhere kind
Yeah,
of
in that
nearby
case,
and send one of the drones out and back.
We can either we can park from above the clouds, or we could just like go down to the planet
Give
and just
me
land.
Whoever's piloting the drone. Well, if you guys just go land, we'll do the drone stuff when we get back because that's gonna require skill checks.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys land, you stay hidden, then you get to where you want to land basically, and then you're just gonna descend straight from the clouds and land since you have complete vertical control in the grav car or the grav flyer. So yeah,
I was having so much fun with this thing.
And we can take our break here.
All right, sounds good. So we're going to take a quick break here, refresh ourselves, refresh beverages, grab a snack, take meds, stretch, all that good stuff. And we'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes or so. We'll see you real soon. Hello, we are back from our break, refreshed and ready to go. So yeah, let's just turn things back over. Take us away, David.
All right. So you landed about a 30-minute walk away. You gave a message saying you'd be there in an hour, which you would have gotten a response. You will be welcome.
I can't
So
tell if it's because they're diplomats or something, but they feel so really off with their responses.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's just a limitation of the escape pod, and that it's they're limited. They can't do
Big
voice or video or
responses.
something. But yeah, this.
Well, this is what we'll send the drones out for.
All right.
Speaking of which, I'll grab one of my drones. Oh,
right.
I'll grab my my Void
roll
Hawk.
roll me a pilot, and this will work as a sneak.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
there you go. Mhm.
All right.
That's
So
also with yeah, that's no modifier. Yeah, there we go.
you've flown it over and unseen over the area. To it has a sensor suite on it or whatever, so someone is going to need to roll a program to scan the area.
You filling
It
that up
does
for
not
me?
have to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
you,
I got.
Scarra.
I have a
I got
-1
it.
to program.
Ah,
What's happened to
Eight.
you? What happened to you, man?
wait, hold on. Oh, it's only 3d6. Okay, that's why.
Hmm. All right. That's good enough. You're closer now. It's a limited view. A six would have done this for you. But basically, the escape pod is landed. It kind of started a small grass fire around it, right, which burnt for a while. And so now there's this kind of burnt clearing. And in that clearing are a bunch of dead locals. And dead horses as well. Sorry, trigger warning, animal stuff, but yeah, the horses wouldn't have made it.
What about the people we're looking for?
There's no sign of them. The shuttle or the escape shuttle has its doors closed though, and it does seem to have power running to it, as
I'm not
there
gonna.
you can see some lights and whatnot.
Are there windows on the shuttle? On the pod? Like,
Uh,
obviously they wouldn't be like glass, but like they would be.
would there be any? No, it's a structural weakness. There'd be no reason to include them in the
Uh,
shuttle.
in that case, uh I will just fly the drone back to us because I'm worried. I don't want to lose this thing immediately to what I assume is
Hmm.
probably the strand if I touch it. Does it look? How does the structural integrity of the
Well,
pod
what
look?
I will say is the bodies do not seem to have been killed by the strand. They've instead clearly been killed by bladed weapons. You see, like heads chopped off
Hmm.
and stuff like that.
What about higher arms fire? Does anybody have like blaster injuries or anything like that?
Yes, an 8 on the scan. No, clearly stabbing, and there's no evidence that it's anything like a vibro blade or like a heated blade or anything like that. Looks like this is just some standard tech level 2 sword play here.
Right.
Hmm. Right,
Does it
Cap.
look like? Does it look like the pod has been exited? Like, does it look like it's been like anybody's left the pod, or like does it seem like it's been? I mean, the door on the pod is still there, so I assume that it's a pod that can just like open and close
Okay.
the door,
I see
kind of
what you're
thing.
saying. There are marks around the pod where the door is. It looks like the door has been regularly opened and closed.
Right. Then in that case, I'll fly the drone back.
Right, so that looked mighty suspicious, eh?
Yep. Hmm.
So
I don't. It doesn't look like Strand, but it doesn't look like our level of technology did that to the locals. Um,
perhaps a
very barbaric.
rival band of soldiers or
Why,
something
why
came
kill the
across them.
horses?
I mean, I suppose it's possible they have a warrior among their escape pod, and made do with weapons from the locals, but it seems very odd that they just left the bodies there if they are still using this pod regularly.
Could we send another message to them saying we're still on our way, but is there anything wrong, or is it like have you been attacked? Are you all safe, kind of thing? Is that like a good thing to ask? And then if they say everything's okay, or like if they say we haven't been attacked, then we know something's wrong.
If we say something along the lines of, we're preparing to leave our ship and we'll be there soon. Are there any, was anyone hurt? Should we bring first aid? Things along those lines.
Right.
So yeah.
Are we sure this isn't like a infection of some sort that was brought down here?
It seems very clear that these people got chopped up.
But we don't know if they got chopped up after. We don't know if those wounds are the things that killed them, right? If we're going to go on at it for a bigger perspective.
It just seems odd to me that no one on that escape pod would have a single blaster amongst them. That not one of them bodies has anything other than what looks like choppies on the little meat bits.
I'm thinking it's strange that they haven't left. Well, they clearly have left and re-entered the escape pod. I'm thinking it's strange they're still in the escape pod, unless they are staying in there because we're coming to pick them up.
How big is the escape pod compared to how many people were supposed to be on it?
So there's enough people in it to, basically think like it's 10 people, and think like it's about as roomy as like for the people on board, like if they were in like a minivan or something like that. Like it's not 10 people crammed into a minivan. They have about as much space if it was a minivan that could easily accommodate 10 people. So it's got like supplies in there. It's got like a little toilet, and it's got a bunch of like, and then it's pretty tall because it's got a lot of like equipment in it for like broadcasting their position and life support and stuff like that. Landing, it basically just like comes in and lands. And yeah, it's got some like it's got like a grav parachute, but it still like would have come in real hot and then slowed down. So it was really hot when it hit the grass and started the grass fire. And you guys would know because you would have had stuff about the Oasis of the Stars. You would know that the standard supplies they had on board do include a mag pistol.
So it is strange that the people outside are dead by weapons. Well, we already knew that, but like weapons by technical too. I am incredibly suspicious.
Right, Captain Cottontail, with all due respect, permission to put on my right pauper body for this one, eh?
Yes, yeah, it may better to go in with that, and we can.
I'll bring this one along.
Yep.
He immediately goes off to change. It takes like 10 minutes.
All right. So do you send a message to the pod?
Yeah. We are making our last preparations to come to you. Do you need first aid or any other critical supplies?
I think it would respond, no one here is in need of aid. Where the people you are looking for are, they should be well taken care of.
I think Mozart comes back on like over like a comm or something. It's like, right, that sounds like a mechanical mine if I've ever known one.
Yes.
How would they respond like that? That doesn't sound human. I mean, biologically,
I mean, perhaps each shuttle has a basic virtual intelligence or something to.
I'm a pilot. Would I know if they would?
Would it be standard?
Could I know if since I've seen the model through the drone, could I roll a no for potentially
Sure,
to know if there's a
sure. Yeah, go ahead.
intelligence 7?
All right. Um, the the model wouldn't have it as a standard. It's
Okay.
possible since this is such a nice ship that there's something like that's been added on to them.
Okay. Well, standardized. These things do not have AI modules like that. But they may have added something. You know how they're rich and fancy. But if we're looking at this from a tech standard, then no, they should not have an AI.
Right, let's not forget whoever's on the other line of that said the ones we're looking for should be well, not were okay.
Hmm. Should be well, as in they don't know that's the status of them.
It sounds like they're no longer near the shuttle, but
Hmm.
we'll have to get to the shuttle to figure out where they've gone.
While I was looking for the drone, did it look like there were footprints in the ground?
Um, yeah, what did you guys? Not that you saw. I think you
Hmm.
probably would have needed a 10 to
Let's
to
get their
pick up any
info.
tracks. So what I will say is you do see the tracks from where this group of about 50 dead locals came from, and they look armed. These aren't just like some peasants came across the ship and were killed. An
What kind of
armed force came out to meet this escape shuttle and were killed.
what kind of clothes were they wearing?
Um,
Well, are we
they're
correct in our?
Are they hot?
they hot. You don't know. You didn't get that good of a look at them if they're hot or not. But clothes wise,
I mean,
you're
they're dead. They're
not
probably cold now.
you're not super far off. There seems to be a lot of use of the color yellow in their clothes, which you guys are off on because you're largely adapting Diego's white robes. But yeah, like the consistency of the fabrics and stuff like that looks to be
Assume it's like a
pretty all
flag
right.
thing.
Yeah, and their armor looks to be age appropriate for medieval times.
Hmm. Oh, should we start walking over there then?
Yep, I mean, we can
It's the only
go
thing we can do.
communicate back and forth all day, but at this point, I think we'll get answers faster by getting there in person.
Hmm.
Yeah, fuck it, let's go.
All right. As you approach, nothing nothing approaches you on your way there. You eventually get to the escape shuttle. You get to the clearing, and the you kind of come from the opposite direction that the group of 50 locals came from. So at first, it just is you just see the escape shuttle and kind of this burned out clearing. You have to walk probably another good like 5 minutes before you get to the escape shuttle, but you do see like clear signs of a fight here amongst these people. These people died with weapons in their hands. Um, uh, but they all also seem to be having like the same coat of arms. So this is one side that has died with apparently, if the other side had any casualties, they took them with them.
This is sketchy, right?
It is incredibly sketchy.
Cool, cool.
Right, so we're trying to go quiet now, or should we announce ourselves?
I think announce ourselves. We were told that we would be welcome.
I'm going to hide behind Mozart.
So I think Mozart's going to move to the forward stretch a little bit. Go ahead and get out his cannon, and then he's going to start playing "Happy" by Pharrell Williams. And
We're not
he's
killing them, are we?
right. I don't know. And then he's going to just boom out in a volume that would like fill the field, but not go like way beyond. I'm not trying to like announce ourselves to everybody and their uncle within a mile radius, but just in a loud voice. Oi, right, you all in there? Come on out then. We're here to help.
All right. The escape shuttle doors kind of like push out and then slide to the side, kind of making you see where the mark came from of the door. And someone walks out. They're dressed in a very large, think like a Three Musketeers type hat, but it's way too big. The diameter is probably twice what it should be, with a lot of like large feathers kind of coming out of the top of the hat. They're dressed in a fine kind of like noble's outfit of the time. It's a lot of light purples and gold and white ruffles. And the individual, he looks to be kind of a dark purple skin tone. It's much more, it doesn't really clash with the lighter purple, as it's so dark that it kind of starts to approach like kind of like a nighttime kind of color, with golden hair and golden eyes, and what seem to be kind of like pointed ears, kind of like really long. They kind of go up into the hat a little bit. And you see that the individual has looks to be like a devil's tail, kind of wagging behind it.
So I think there's a comical record scratch, and the song ends, and you can hear Tim the Toolman Taylor go, "What?"
Greetings. We are as I previously communicated, the vanguard from the Minervan Emperor. Here to begin rescue operations.
The individual kind of like does a flourish and a bow and stands up and says, "Ketheract is most pleased to make your acquaintance. He is happy to hear you have come to rescue the individuals he has previously done business with."
Are you Ketheract?
The individual before you is but an emissary of Ketheract. He greets you on Ketheract's behalf.
I understand the messaging thing now.
How shall we refer to you? For convenience's sake?
The individual can be referred to as Ketheract.
I don't like this.
I have no fucking idea what's going on.
Yeah,
Do I recognize his species? I guess that would be a question for Alex.
Well, I'm going to do a telepathic contact to try and start getting some stuff here.
It's good because I'm thinking about doing a plasma contact.
Yeah, so so for free I start getting
For free? During Pride?
For free?
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so yeah, just for free I get the emotional state and I can communicate with them, but it seems like we can all communicate with them. But I will also go ahead and try and do the stuff that they get a saving throw for, to try and read the current thoughts, and then if necessary, I'll drill down to ask a simple question and probe their memories for the answer.
All right. I don't have the character sheets ready for him. So uh, 20. Nope.
That means we
20.
don't have to worry about fighting him.
Oh, that's a big fail.
Okay. So yeah, I guess. Well, first you tell me what I get from the surface level emotions and thoughts.
Surface level, it is the individual seems to be excited and happy to meet you. There is there's thoughts of opportunity here.
Okay.
Uh, do I recognize his species?
No.
No, not even a little bit. Did my many years of trade.
Nope.
What about me? I don't use that scholar thing very often, but does it smack of anything it's called the howling, the scream, whatever?
The pre-scream.
Mm-hmm.
As a scholar, okay. Nothing in specific. These kinds of modifications aren't necessarily uncommon. If this is a human individual who's been heavily genetically modified, um, that's a possibility. But there isn't like a specific alien race that you would know of.
Cool.
And I would say that goes for probably most of you. This is a possibility of what some humans might have turned themselves into, but you haven't seen this specific thing before.
Right. Are the other inhabitants on the shuttle safe? Or
Kethrak
are
was
they
able to arrange for their safe passage and their protection.
safe passage to where, might I ask?
Kethrak could perhaps bring you there.
Yeah, hey,
What?
what happened to all these people who died?
Kethrak was sadly forced to kill them. His
Did
arrangement
the
with the ones that came before dictated that he must kill all in pursuit of the individuals he helped save.
might I ask where you're from?
Kethrak is from here.
Thought so. Well, it's nice to
Oh.
meet you. I'm going to try and be polite and walk towards him, trying to shake
One
his hand.
second, we got derailed here. Alex gets questions and whatnot on his telepathicness.
Yeah, so I think
Apologies.
hearing that and that he is a local, Psychic can drill down into the target's memory to get a 1 or 2 sentence answer to any single question they ask, or receive a single answering vision of the target's recollections. Target can attempt a mental saving throw to resist this power, and whether or not it succeeds, the contact is automatically ended. It can be reestablished, but only by activating the technique again. And so I think hearing the thing of like, oh, arrangement with the ones who came before, trying to get like the vision of did this guy come to the shuttle first, meet all the people on it, and make a deal, and kind of how did that go down, or is he pulling one over on us with all this talk of, oh, he made an arrangement with these people and got them to safety?
All right. Yes. So you see his memories of approaching the shuttle. He approached and he camped here for several days until the approaching group of troops were close enough that they were clearly noticed by the inhabitants, at which point he came, made a deal with them to get them to safety. They locked themselves in the escape shuttle. He drew his sword. You see kind of a quick memory of him, engaging in battle and killing these people before he came back, and then led them away to somewhere else. The deal was for him to guarantee their safety and bring them somewhere where they could be protected. In exchange, he was granted the escape shuttle. And he specifically asked for it.
Okay. Going to, with the practice telepathy stuff I've got, kind of relay that to at least Neith and Scarra. I don't think Mozart's gotten the thing for me to do that yet.
No.
But after that, we'll say, Kathrak, you do seem rather comfortable around this sky ship. We've come to understand that most inhabitants of this planet are less or are more superstitious about such things.
Ketharak remembers before, when creatures such as yourself were common on this world.
Right. What in the nine fox did you just say? Before? Before what?
Apologies for his rudeness. He just wants to understand.
Before what? And at this, you still have his surface thoughts.
So no, it ends when I do the probe.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cataract says, the ones that I spoke with previously, the previous inhabitants of Cataract Shuttle, mentioned that you called it the screen.
Right.
Yes.
You look great for your age, my dude.
Cataract thanks you.
Mozart takes a half step back in what almost looks like fear. And you can see the light on his arm cannon is starting to light up a little brighter.
Hey, wait, whoa. I'm gonna take a step around Mozart and take a step towards him and be like, well, it's nice to meet you, Cataract. Thank you for telling us this. Do you mind leading us towards the people you made the deal with for the show?
Cataract is always happy to make a trade.
What kind of thing would you be amenable to? What do you want? It's pretty much what I'm asking. I've dealt with trade in a lot of different ways. I know my fair way around a good deal. So wouldn't want either side to get ripped off here.
Cataract requires additional power cells for his new shuttle.
Is this a kind of shuttle that can take off again?
Not without heavy modification.
Right. So it's just I hope you're aware that this shuttle can't go into space.
The shuttle has been able to communicate this to Cataract.
Yes. Okay. I'm just making sure you know. So you just wanted it to be powered properly so it can do all of its functions, I'm assuming?
Cataract will arrange its transportation to a more suitable location for Cataract's needs.
Right. And to my understanding, most of the people on this planet are humans like myself. How would they react to other life forms like, you yourself are well, let's be not beat around the bush here. Clearly, either human with modifications or not human. Do the people here see that as a bad thing, or are they completely accepting of it? I just want to understand this culture.
Tesseract is a shade. You will find many shades on this world.
Shade.
Do we have
lilac,
comm
right? Right?
Ah.
Hey!
Tesseract will laugh at that.
Do we have a comm system? Like, does everybody have earpieces in still? How deep
I
are we going
imagine
with this?
so.
Then I would like to. I imagine something I can do is send a silent message to the comm pieces. So without actually speaking, I would like to send out to everybody that while Scarra is talking to him, that Roy, I don't know how much pre-scream experience you'll got under your belts, but take this one from me. That's a mighty dangerous creature there. That is not something you want to fuck with. I don't know, it's something you want off this fucking planet.
Mr. Catharact, were other shades like yourself? Did they also survive pre-scream?
Tesseract believes the
yourself?
information that is being communicated to this point is worthwhile, and that further information will require a deal of some sort.
So if we went off and found another shade, I'm sure they wouldn't. Or is trading a thing specific to yourself, or is it something that is used as a currency around here?
All shades would require a contract of some kind. That information can be for free. Tesseract is somewhat unique in that he seeks material gain. Tesseract is one of the more friendly shades you might interact with.
I give a cursory glance back to my friends.
All right. I've been told that, physical bodies are worth a lot, right? Like, I'm willing to step in and be part of this trade if necessary. I'd be interested in giving it a go. Teddy speaks highly of it.
We didn't really cover that part in your human crash course, but
You said it was fun.
It is, but the theory and practice are very different. Anyway, if that is what you wish, but I had a thought and then that derailed it. Teddy is going to reestablish telepathic contact with this guy.
All right.
Not going to try and drill any deeper to start. So just getting the surface emotions.
So I think with the reestablished telepathic contact, you, especially on this time, you realize he has a telepathic contact with at least somebody in your group. He's not drilling deep, but he's getting surface level stuff.
Okay. We'll communicate that to my teammates who are psychically vulnerable. But
think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts.
Yeah, we are just in a surface thought off right now. Sorry, I keep having thoughts that don't finish.
Go ahead. You've established the contact with him. Are you just looking for his kind of surface emotions and thoughts?
Yeah, and how he reacts to some of the things that we say and offer.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So upon offer of Neith's newly acquired body, there is a sense of amusement about it, and it's not hard to read the emotions on Cataract as he gives a big smile, and he says, "That is certainly worth something to Cataract. He has been around for some time, and the experience may not be, not to be insulting, may not be as worth as much to him as you might think."
Oh, you watch your tone there, Purples.
No, it's okay. I've heard starfishing is a good tactic to use.
I'm so confused right now.
Teddy can't stop from face palming briefly before regaining composure. We are going to have a conversation later.
So you want sufficient power cells for your craft, your newly acquired craft. We might be able to obtain these. I just want to make sure that
If
it's a fair trade, because I understand you're going to, if we give you power cells, you will lead us to the people we're looking for. Would us just looking around this planet ourselves not find them ourselves? Is this a fair trade for us if we give you these power cells?
Cataract can ensure you will not be able to get the individuals you are looking for without Cataract's help.
Is that a threat?
It is not a threat. Cataract is no longer in charge of these individuals. His contract with them is fulfilled.
Are you saying their lives are in the hands of others right now,
who have sworn to protect them?
In what regards do you mean protect?
Cataract believes that he has made his intentions clear. Further information must be gained through trade.
I mean, it's a fair trade. It's, it's something we need, something he needs. What do you need them first, or do you just do you want us to promise that we'll get you them when we can? Because obviously we didn't bring anything like that down to this planet with us.
Cataract would need them soon. Cataract is willing to make a bargain with those of you of mortal flesh. This contract would be binding.
Is it like magic binding? I've heard the inhabitants of this planet like to use magic.
Cataract believes they would call it magic. He believes you would say it is psychic.
Yes, but I was just trying to appropriate your terms.
Right,
Cataract existed before it was called magic. Although they did still call it sorcery.
Right, Periwinkle, you said soon. What's hurry? You're old. What's the rush?
Cataract needs the ability to power this ship beyond when it will run out of its eventual charge, which the ship informs Cataract it will run out of charge in approximately a month.
Oh.
Cataract would need this equipment before the month is up.
Well,
and
if you
before you leave the atmosphere.
If you agree to take us to, this is Scarra being completely honest, by the way. So, if you agree to take us to the people that you previously made trade with, the ones we were looking for, I promise, at least on my behalf, that we will get you these power cells.
Cataract will need to make a contract with all the mortals here.
All right, I'm down.
What this contract, is it like a sign with your blood, or is it like a... I'm kind of attached to my blood. Literally, it's a part of my body.
Some sacrifice will be necessary. Blood, tears, perhaps hair.
God, this guy's reminding me of like old Fae, like mythology from Terran societies.
And he's going to pull like a rapier from his belt and kind of start drawing in the ground, like an intricate diagram of some kind.
Or
It's going to be large enough for all of you to stand in the middle of it.
before we make this trade, I'm just gonna look to the captain and be like, "This is a good idea."
Yes, Kethrak, a moment, if you will, while myself and my companions discuss your terms.
Kethrak is more than pleased to give you all the time you need. Within a month.
Of course. Should have an answer for you shortly. But, and motions for everyone to step away and hopefully be out of earshot for him. But who can say
psychic
it?
shots.
Yeah, especially if he's still got the psychic connection.
Okay, I've had a thought. Just real quick, now that we've stepped away. And I know that he may be reading our brains right now. Psychic shit is scary. No offense. Right. What if, instead of immediately making this deal with this guy, because he keeps saying, for those of you that are mortal, which makes me concerned that he's not mortal. Obviously, Mozart is also not mortal, but that's different. He's a robot. No offense. Well, kind of a little bit of offense. That's why I'm getting sidetracked. What if we try?
Hot dog.
What if we try to find the diplomats by ourselves and perhaps some other and if we can't, then we make this contract. But
it would take so long though.
we have a month and we can't, especially the three of us plus Ushwal and Diego. So the five of us who are mortal, we really don't want to risk that kind of thing, because if we don't follow through, I'm feeling we're gonna die. I mean, giving him some power cells isn't that bad, but
All right.
long as
Mozart,
it's not
what
like a
do
kid-
you know of him? You have had
Yeah.
a very strong reaction to him,
Right, him specifically, not
or his kind.
not a bit. But he said before the scream. There's
which
not
means he
much left
survived.
before the scream, and there's nothing that did survive. That's good.
Actually, no, Sarah, you said that's good. Before we met you, Mozart, we did find on an old planet in Pangea. On Pangea, we found somebody in a cryopod that seemed to be from pre-Scream. That was a psychic person who had gone insane.
Right,
So
yeah.
yeah, they're very scary. I don't want to.
So
I don't want to
I
mess with
think
that.
this is well above the consequences of this are well above and beyond handing off some power cells. Taking that contract that he intends on putting you all through, which your squishy little lives, you make whatever decision you want. But beyond that, even a bit is something like him getting off a rock like this.
I mean, he can't go into space with that thing. It's not possible. Unless he hailed another ship, which is something I'm
And there
concerned
will
about.
very soon be several starships who
Very old minds can come up with very elaborate plans.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did
we're not exactly good though, right? Let's be real. What is
Yeah.
releasing one more evil?
right. And what if he seems like he's honest, right, Teddy?
he is relatively straightforward in what he has been telling us, but as Mozart points out, who knows how many layers there are to him.
Yeah. He might just be trying to take over this world. We don't really
Perhaps.
know his intentions, but I'm not saying we should do it, but
Well, I don't give a fuck about this little moss ball, but it won't stop there. It never stops there. You take over a planet, that's not enough. You took over a planet. Now what?
right. Well,
And
here's
perhaps
the
we
thing
should
too. We could always warn the people coming down about him, and it's their problem then.
it's not our responsibility if they say yes.
Because if they, there's a fleet of ships coming this way, right?
Yes.
Perhaps we should find another one of these shades and just see what kind of information. I mean, according to
Yeah.
him, if we're taking his word as like guarantee, and other shades aren't as particularly kind.
Right. Okay.
Um,
Well, here's
but
what
we
if.
don't know if we take his word for granted. Well, what is his perception of kindness, right?
Yeah.
He
Um.
slaughtered all of these people, so
Well. Yeah, but I mean, if all the other shades are like pre-scream and they went crazy instead of not going, I mean, do we know of any other beings that didn't go crazy? There are some, right?
So what I will say is that yeah, he's demonstrated psychic ability, and
Mm-hmm.
basically every psychic that survived the scream went insane.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
okay.
to a level that like he's not that. Like they
well,
were gibbering insane. Their
Yeah.
brain was burned out of their heads.
his species might have had higher resistances to the scream.
Yeah.
But he might still not be exactly right in the head.
But in a different way. He
I
does
mean,
refer
he
to himself in
literally,
the first person,
yeah, in third person.
third person.
I feel like it was the second.
That would be you.
Yeah,
Right.
it's definitely that is third
First person
person.
plural is definitely what I said.
Well, here is what I'm thinking. I am not entirely convinced that he will actually let us leave and take until a month to make up our minds. So what I suggest we do is we send a message to Pleasant now before we make any deals with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the warning to pass along to those who come after in case we are somehow compromised after making this deal.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, you know deals, right? Like if we get it in writing too, like we use his rules, we use our rules.
I mean, I've worked in a lot of trade deals. Um, Most of them have gone well. Some of them have been like a little bit weird, obviously, because I have smuggled things in the past. Let's be realistic. It's
so
my background at this
we
point.
will safeguard ourselves as best we can, but that includes, you know, making precautions ahead of time. And Mozart,
We
you
need
will
to
be
make sure
part
to
of
read the
this.
fine print.
You and Pleasant being ready to warn the coalition that is coming to be particularly wary of Ketharak and others like him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If this contract is in writing, we need to make sure that the wording is correct in our favor. Because if it's a fine print thing of being like, oh, also you need to give me power cells like every month or something, that would just be a big old loss for us. And if we
Mm-hmm.
don't do that, who knows what might happen to our immortal souls or whatever.
Yes, no.
If souls are even real. I
We'll
mean,
specify how many power cells he needs and the extent of how much guidance he can give us, and whether or not that includes letting us leave with the people of the shuttle.
he said that they're no longer in his hands, so
Yes, but he is extremely opportunistic and may take advantage of our position to impose more
has this
demands for deals.
Mm-hmm.
infiltration gone out the window then?
Well, there's
We've immediately
still more of the planet that we may end up needing to explore, especially if we want to recover as many of the passengers as possible. We are just focusing on the VIPs first.
Hmm.
Of course. Of course.
I have to put on my little boy pants for this, ain't I?
Yep. Well, don't worry, you still have your gun face, right?
Right.
I think as long as
Okay,
we are
cool.
around Ketharak, you should remain in your omen form, and if we come across other inhabitants, we fall back on we are the summons of the mighty wizard Scarra. Jazz hands.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, if as a magic trick I can fly.
True.
So do you
As we start,
oh go ahead.
as we're like breaking, Neith is gonna pull Teddy aside and just say, "You said sex was fun."
It is, but just the first time is often a mixed bag. If you want to learn, I am happy to teach you, but it does not all come naturally.
Oh. I guess I didn't think I had to perform well. I thought it was just a receptacle situation.
Some people are satisfied with that much, yes, but that is subpar.
Oh. Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
Disgusting.
All right. As you approach Ketheract, he has finished drawing his diagram in the ground.
Can I inspect the diagram? Is it like a pentagram or something? Is it like
I mean,
writing?
it's not writing at all. It's more along the lines of a pentagram. It's significantly more complex. You couldn't reproduce this if you wanted to. Maybe with his computer mind, Mozart could, as he has a photographic memory. But even then, the intricacies of the designer would push him to the limit of his motor control to do.
Right. What are the exact, like, I'm assuming we don't have it in writing, so what is the exact terms of this contract trade you want?
Ketheract we will make this now. Ketheract will make it with you. What we say will be the contract.
The contract in words, huh? So very precise.
This contract will be quite binding.
I'm understanding that. So I'm going to pass it off to my talking friend, Captain.
Right. How many power cells would you need for your purposes?
Ketheract wonders how many power cells you think the lives of these people are worth.
Well, that was going to be my next question. How many would you want in exchange for safe passage to these people?
Ketheract would require at least 4 more of these ship's power cells.
And how many power cells for safe passage to the people and to ensure that you do not interfere with our rescuing them and leaving the planet with them?
Ketheract had no plans to do that, but if you wish to put into the contract that he may not prevent you from leaving the planet or rescuing them, once the contract is fulfilled, remember, part of the contract will be that you will not be allowed to leave the atmosphere of this world.
Sorry, I don't think we knew that part of it. How does that work?
Ketheract will not be able to enforce the contract if you leave the atmosphere of the world. Therefore, the contract must be that you cannot leave the atmosphere of this world.
Do we have that on the ship? Like, do we have what we need?
No.
No.
Not 4 power cells for this.
Okay.
But would we be able to acquire them within the time period with all the other ships?
Yeah, you could talk to the other ships and probably get them.
I have 2 power cells on my person, but they're type A, so I'm assuming they're not ship power cells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm just trying to make sure I'm clear on the terms of the contract. So once the contract is fulfilled, it is done, and then we could leave the atmosphere?
Correct.
Okay. Because it sounds like he is setting things up so that until we give him the power cells, we are somehow going to be psychically prevented from leaving the atmosphere. Which, sounds like a plot hook to me, but...
Yeah, I think, well, I guess in my understanding is that he can't enforce it outside of it. So if we do go, it probably would make it null and void, and then it'd be like a failure of the contract, or like that would be us in his mind failing the contract. Is that correct?
Yeah. He's basically saying it's a term of the contract that you wouldn't leave the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. So we can enforce it, sort of thing, right? Because if we leave, he can't do anything.
So yeah, leaving in these terms, leaving would break the contract, and whatever the consequences of breaking the contract would fall on you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm just worried about the possibility of, for the duration of the contract, we are physically incapable of leaving the atmosphere because of whatever binding he puts on us.
Mm-hmm.
But, we have communication to the ship, and, once the fleet arrives, they'll be able to ferry people and stuff back and forth. So, less of an issue than we might think, but it does mean we are committed to staying here.
At the very least, Mozart can leave.
Cataract will pick up on this kind of hesitation of what's being asked and say, Cataract is capable of bargaining. If the power cells are not something you could easily procure, he could be convinced to change his mind. Perhaps you could move the shuttle for him after you rescue the individuals you are looking for and provide him with whatever smaller power cells you are able to and some spare parts. Cataract could have the shuttle give you a list of things Cataract needs.
Do you think the grav flyer would be capable of moving the shuttle, or would that require bringing in the ship?
You probably do it with the grav flyer.
Okay.
I would have a counter thing as well. I've been like, if we wanted to, we could potentially bring him onto our ship, but I don't know if that's a good idea. If we wanted to leave the atmosphere.
I know that seems like a terrible idea. We do not want him on anything more advanced than the shuttle if we can help it, but so we may have to let him into the grav flyer so that he's not like, just go in the shuttle. We're definitely going to bring you somewhere and go drop it in the ocean.
Have him just be on top of the shuttle so he can't be inside.
Yeah,
I'll be sure to fly smoothly.
But okay, so sorry, I'm torn between trying to do this in character and just clarifying things as a player. So it's he wants the 4 power cells, but that would take time for the ships to arrive. Or he'll take us there now, assuming we move the shuttle for him, and then other things that he will list out for us to supply after that.
And basically he could very quickly, before the deal's even done, he could provide that list to you. He would actually just kind of like call out to the shuttle, and the text messages you were getting before would come, and it would provide you with a list of things. And Neith checking it would be a lot of the spare part. Not a lot. You have plenty of spare parts, and the spare parts you have would cover this easily. You would have lots of spare parts left over. Since I believe you guys have a couple of tons, or you have an insane amount of spare parts. He's asking for maybe 200 pounds of spare parts, which is a lot, but it's not a lot to you guys.
Yeah. So yeah, and I guess when he switches the ask to that, gonna try and side-eye Mozart, see how he reacts to that. Do they think that that's safer than the power cells, or is this all just still Mozart would rather we don't do anything?
Mozart sees you glance over at him, and he says over the comms Mozart thinks that Kethrak is a slimy little skink that's going to do something right fucking bad. You don't have to be so exact with your words unless you're hiding something. You say he's being forthcoming. I say he's being the opposite.
I think Scarra is at least thinking this. Oh, so if the telepathic comm's still up, but if it is it still up? Is the telepathic?
Because it's technically
I really need to get that ability because right now we have like two different types of being able to talk, but
Yeah.
All I would be saying is that I agree with Mozart here.
You guys could be like doing text to speech to Mozart if you wanted to, and it'd be
I'll
like
just quickly
it could
pull out
go
my
over the
compad and
comms
be
or
like, I
something.
agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, trust me, I don't like this, but really, what choice? Like, if we do like not make this deal with him and then look over the planet, who knows what could happen to these people? But Scarra doesn't really care about them. He only cares about getting the money.
Yeah, I think
nobody ever mentioned this ever again. But I agree with Miles.
We don't have to do this right this second, right? Like we have a couple days. Why don't we get to know him a little bit more before we jump into this, and then we'll know if it's a good idea or not. It's an option.
it's an option. I'm just, and yeah,
I mean, I am so ready to get this conversation done with, honestly. But yeah, universe in the balance. I get it.
no, I think at this point we have agreed that he is more than we are capable of handling.
I never said that.
I believe that we should go with this move the shuttle and spare parts deal, and we will go from there with our previously discussed options as well.
Cool. Mortal soul.
So-
Who needs one, right?
So that is, you're willing to agree to those terms?
Hey, Mozart, if I die from this, can you agree to like put my brain in like a machine body or something?
Oh, keep your bits around, no worries.
Oh yeah,
Appreciate it.
tell my family that the heir's dead.
What now?
All right, let's do this.
All right. Ketheract, bringing you all into the circle, says, are there any other provisions you would like from Ketheract before the contract is made?
Like,
Perhaps
Well, you're kind of a badass. Why don't we say that you protect us?
Ketheract would need something more for that.
How about I teach you how to use you already can communicate with the ship.
would you like a
Maybe-
translator?
Does Kethrak really need something extra for that? Right. What position of power are you in to be making extra demands? When's the next time somebody's going to come around to help you out, eh?
Ketheract makes quite a few deals here. But
Right.
if you wish Ketheract to risk his life to protect you, I think that is worth something. Ketheract's life must be worth something. Perhaps one of your communication paths.
What
Simply one.
Or
counterpoint? You simply sorry, I am struggling with words tonight. Something about like if we get into a random encounter along the road, he just stands back and doesn't do anything, but does not, the same sort of thing we were saying before. Like he does not actively act against us, but does not need to protect us.
Yeah, I don't think we need his protection. I mean, I
Ketheract.
don't.
Ketheract will be nice to you here and explain that you do not need to add a provision for his protection. That Ketheract is already agreeing that he will take you to where you need to go. If he were to let you die,
I wouldn't
then
fulfill the deal.
He wouldn't fulfill the contract.
solid.
Those are good
Done.
points.
So I want to ask here. Obviously, we're handing our mortal things to you in this contract. If you don't fulfill your side of the deal, does it affect you too?
Ketheract would die.
Okay, good to know the death's on the
Shit.
table.
And does that stipulation apply to us upon forming the contract that if we break any of the conditions, we also die?
That would be correct.
Well, it was nice knowing
Hence-
everybody.
Why he could not bargain with your mechanical friend.
Ah, makes sense. Okay, I'm down.
Can't believe I'm jealous of him again. First the face gun thing, and now this.
All
I
right.
really don't like the idea of somebody else getting to take your skulls.
Well, to be fair, we just die. You can do whatever
Hey,
with our bodies.
Yeah, exactly. You can still take our skulls.
It's not as
Oh.
fun.
Watching the life fall out of your eyes is the fun bit.
I have to ask, is the death instant or is it like painful? Or is that something
Does
I
it
shouldn't
matter?
ask?
Kethrak isn't sure.
Oh, great. Well, this is great. I assume all of your deals have gone through well before then. Nobody's disobeyed them.
Quite a few have disobeyed them. Normally not within sight of Kethrak.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Well, let's do this thing.
All right. And yeah, you all get into the center. He cuts his hand and bleeds onto the pattern. And will bid you all to do the same.
She cuts off a dread.
Which,
you know, after Tuesday, our other Tuesday night game, I get a little weirded out every time my character cuts their hair.
Oops. Yeah. Teddy will do
Think of
like
a bit.
a pin prick for some blood.
I'll do the same.
All right. I will say that his blood does seem to be gold as well.
I think about like halfway through the ritual, Mozart will slowly, not being extra threatening, will approach Kethrak and he'll say, "Boy, Periwinkle, I got a little deal for you too. If I get so much as a hint that you're trying to abuse the letter of the law of this contract, I'm gonna fucking vaporize you, and I'm gonna love it."
Kethrak understands your concern.
Oh, I'm not
Understands
concerned.
Kethrak is only capable of following the letter of the deal. It is part of the nature of Kethrak.
The letter, right? That's what I'm talking about. Don't you dare abuse the spirit.
Kethrak, the spirit of the deal is not something Kethrak can easily consider, but he will do his best.
Right, you meatbags are all the same no matter how old you are. Finish your shit up then.
Kethrak is no meatbag. He is a shade.
Fucking rude.
He is not made of
Have you
flesh.
met me?
Yeah, he's
Anyways,
English. He's great.
as you all like bleed or do hair or whatever onto the pattern, it glows and it's done. It's as quick as that. There's no chanting. You don't feel anything odd. And Kethrak kind of claps his hands together and says, "Well then, Kethrak will have to take you to the Tower of Heaven."
Well, all lives in your hands. Give him a shake I shake his hand.
All right. Shakes your hand. And we can end it there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The mouse.
Woof.
There we go. All right.
Hopefully
Well,
this
that was
won't go
fun.
terribly wrong.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, Mozart kept thinking about what Mozart would be doing if Mozart was thinking and talking like Kethrak, and I'm telling you, bad ideas all around. But I don't know what else to do. I want to vaporize him. I want to just
I
vaporize
trust
him.
David.
All right.
Technically, the deal never said anything about we could kill him and then just fulfill the part of our side of the deal, right?
I definitely
So-
didn't.
We'll take it as it comes.
Did I
if
notice
we have to kill
he
him.
accidentally dies by plasma cannon blast from an outside source?
Mm.
That's true. Within the deal,
Within the deal, we don't have to protect
Mozart could kill Kethrak, and it would be fine.
That's good.
As long as we fulfilled our side of the bargain.
David, oh.
This is why I was very particular about wording, and I was like, as soon as you didn't say anything about us not harming him, I was like, well, that's perfect.
Also, having previously played in a campaign that Val, who has gone to law school, has run and had like a devil or a demon who had a contract with my character, let's just say I'm being extra cautious.
Fair.
All right. Well, then, let's get stars and wishes in. And, everyone can have 4 experience, by the way.
Should put us at 58.
Sounds good to me.
Right.
What do we need for next level? Because I just accidentally bumped it.
72.
Cool.
Yep, so it's gonna be a minute.
Yes.
2 months.
Let's see, stars and wishes. I can start. I'll take the obvious star to David for Kethrak and just how unsettled we all were. And just like, oh no, what's going on here? And just double and triple thinking everything and probably overthinking it, but that's half the fun sometimes. Wish. I don't know if this would happen, but I kind of want to see another shade show up while we're with Kethrak and just see like how they interact, or at the very least the juxtaposition.
Okay.
I will go next. I would give my star to LB for the funny interaction of being like, oh, I'll just offer myself. That's funny. Like, yeah, why not? Why not? It's great. I just found
Teddy
that very
does it all the
amusing.
time. What?
Exactly. Like being like, wait, no, that's not. Don't do that.
We've got some things to teach you about consent.
Teach me how to love.
And wish I want to see some juicy combat again. It's like see like the intricacies, or if I'm going to go for a double wish, as actually working as intercepting and pretending to be like life forms of this planet.
Okay.
I guess I'll go next. I'm also gonna have to give one for Neith. We didn't get to experience a whole lot of it, but Neith's human voice is fucking hilarious, and I want to hear more snarky Neith. That's great. My wish is while we're on this planet, I would love to fight some sort of, typically fantasy mythical beast, like a fucking dragon or some shit. I think fighting a dragon would be fun.
I agree, but I also thought you were going to say just like some nerd as a wizard and just like very classical, like
actually in the hat.
Yeah.
Fireball.
My star is gonna go to scared Mozart, and like I like everyone's apprehension about things. I enjoyed that, and trying to like game the system. And my wish is to find out more about this being and more about his life and why he's stuck here. And yeah, I mean it makes sense because but how did he get here, that sort of stuff. So that's what I want to know.
All right. Okay. For me, I think my star is going to go to Alex for Teddy kind of taking command there. There was a lot of people being like, I think we should do this, or I think we should do this, and not being sure what's going on. And Teddy was just like, I think we need to make the deal. And kind of did a command move there. Felt very captainy. I liked it.
Yeah, seconded.
And wish. Oh yeah, you guys covered a lot of stuff. Yeah, I have wishes, but yeah, you guys are kind of on track to them, and I don't want to say them because I don't want to spoil or anything. So, yeah.
Maybe what's a wish that you know that we are not going to get to, but you're like, oh, if only we could squeeze this in.
Yeah, I guess wish for you guys to see more of this world than you'll probably end up seeing. I had to come up with a lot of stuff for it before it kind of like came together for what you guys are doing. So there's a lot to it that is just kind of behind the curtains. But
Yeah.
I'll try and work in as much as I can. But yeah.
Maybe Mozart will want to come back to exterminate them all, you know? Just have a good reason to come back.
Or we'll have to come back and deal with, their proximity to Strand.
Yeah.
Because, we barely worried about Strand this episode, but they're up there building a Stargate. So...
I don't think there's not a connection between Strand and, what was it, Therak?
Catharak.
Catharak's goals.
He said his name so much, and I absolutely forgot it also.
Yeah.
He said his name so much, but I kept mispronouncing it.
It's a hard one. I'll spell it out in the Discord here.
Yep, appreciated. I have it in my notes so many times. I'm hoping I got it in one. Otherwise, that's a lot of going back and fixing it. But
let me make sure I spelled it correctly. Yes. All right.
I think that's gonna be it for us tonight. We ran a little bit long, but it's also been a while since we've played. But hopefully we'll be back on more of a normal schedule going forward, which means in 2 weeks we'll be back for more escape velocity, and we'll get to face the consequences of our actions here. But in 1 week, half of us will be in the Squire Squad finale. So come join us for that as the superheroes wrap things up. They're going to CERN. What started as a bit joke towards the beginning is now, actually going to be impactful. And, that's just one of the fun things of a sandbox game, is letting that just happen. But yeah, other than that, let me quickly check the calendar for one thing. Okay, yeah. As I said at the start, schedules are going to be a bit weird with people traveling and stuff, so maybe there will be a stream Thursday, maybe there won't. You'll have to join our Discord to find out, because that's where we tell you when things are happening. Yeah, other than that, do people have things they would like to plug or promote before we go?
Check out the Sunday game. It's gonna be fun.
Sounds like LB's gonna kill us all.
Ready for that TPK, everybody?
Yep. But then, until next time, good games and good night, Internet.